All right. I'm Dr. Samuel Frost, pastor of Bethel Presbyterian Church, and here with I don't know how old I'm older than him, but an old friend of mine, um, Lance Conley.
Hello.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. How about you, Frosty the
And you just
Snowman?
got off a debate.
I did.
I haven't had a chance to see, I've
All
caught
of it.
little bits and pieces of it. I caught enough to, um, yet here's another version of full preterism.
Yeah,
Here's another version.
that was so I at first I thought I did kind of poorly at the debate, but then I rewatched it because everyone was telling me like, dude, you did good on this. And then I rewatched and I was like, all right, I gave myself a C minus at first. I'm giving myself a B plus now because the entire debate was just I'm redefining a term. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that's cool. How do you make that work? And he doesn't explain how he makes it work. It's by magic, I guess. So, um,
It's a constant point, whether I've debated Ward Finley or William Bell or Mike Sullivan and Don Preston. It's a constant. We're two ships passing in the night. We're not operating on the same definitions on
we're we're
multiple levels.
we're clearly not. I clearly wasn't in that one, and it was weird too because they did a I made a video about it like the after show that they did. They did an after show,
Oh,
and
Don
it
and
was
Mike.
no this IBV that I debated.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
But it was funny because I'm supposed to tolerate them, right? I'm supposed to be like, yeah, you're my
yeah.
brother in Christ. But then like I'm getting called an evil futurist. I'm getting called wretched. I'm getting called I'm pro liturgical, which I thought was weird because I was like, wait, you're Hebrew roots or whatever, right? So you're Jewish, but like the Jews always had a liturgy. The Christians added on to the
So
liturgy.
I noticed he had a yarmulke.
Yeah, I he says he's Jewish. He says he's
Okay.
Jewish. Or I
Jewish
mean
full preterist.
Jewish Christian full preterist, something like that. So I mean I tried to figure it out, but you know, he agreed with me on the Old Testament time text, but then when we were gonna get into the New Testament, suddenly it got really weird and became like, oh, now Gizo and Mello mean something different, and
Yeah,
then it just got weird from there. You'll watch it. You'll be
yeah,
like,
I'll watch it. I'll
you'll be
watch it.
like, okay, that's the strangest debate I've ever seen Lance actually.
Because you've watched stand out. It's like this guy's a little different.
Yeah, he's I shouldn't be mean, but like he's an oddball. I mean, honestly, like I don't know where he saw Don Preston and then was like, yeah, that's smart. Like I
Did
don't
he
know.
mention Preston? Did he's
He
so he's
actually
familiar
he
with
actually
Preston and
he actually was listening to Preston about for a year, and so
okay.
he's been a full preterist for a year, and I was like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like I me and Frost have been doing this for years. I mean, you've got
I
a
mean, a
decade.
Jewish full preterist. So you
Yeah.
Judaism
Well,
and
he's
full
Hebrew.
preterism are two opposite. There's no way.
Well, he's Hebrew roots, so he's like,
Oh,
I believe Jesus is Messiah, but somehow soon means 40 years. But in Isaiah 13:6 and other places it means totally different. And I'm like, how? Like this is what
yeah, because most
it's
messianic Jews,
yeah, and
um,
it's just
Jews for Jesus, are usually in the kind of a more or less quasi dispensationalist kind of Zionism kind of
well,
thing going on.
and it got even weirder because and I'll stop talking about it after this, I guess, but like it got weirder because I thought he was going to do this with the resurrection of the dead, but I wanted to really if we had had time, I was going to do it with him, ask him about it because as a Jew, like you bury your dead in a wooden coffin
Yeah.
because it's natural and it's supposed to like symbolize that you're gonna have a rebirth one day. You're gonna rise from the dead. And I just was like finding it so bizarre that this guy that claims that he's got the Jewish roots of Christianity is speaking a literal Greco-Roman pagan idea that they've inserted into scripture to make their resurrection of the dead. Like it boggled my mind because like I've studied Second Temple Judaism for so long that I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, and they even his comrade that he did the show with, he even admitted, and I was like, I knew that's where it was gonna go, but man, I wish I had been able to get into that during the debate because my gosh, it was just like I'm getting a new body in heaven. I'm like, so you're
Well,
not getting
did
in the
he
real body.
acknowledge that the end of the age was the end of the old covenant, is the end of
He did. He
Judaism?
did.
I
He
mean,
said that too. So I was like, wait a second. So you don't you
yeah.
like I heard him say like I don't eat bacon and stuff. So I'm like, wait a second. So you're like Hebrew roots, but like you still don't eat bacon for religious reasons, and I'm the crazy one?
Yeah.
Like like
Can't
I'm
see the
I'm
incongruity there. The
I was baffled. I was baffled the whole time. And if he's watching this, hey man, I just don't understand. Like I just don't understand. I'm not, it's what it is, man. Um,
well, when you're free from the contours of the Spirit of the Lord that has been given to the church of history. And so we interpret in that context of 1900
oh
years.
yeah,
What's
yeah.
going on. And when you just throw that out
But he
and
threw that out
accept
for sure. During
a
he was saying
cultural,
that,
individual, rugged
yeah,
American kind of pull yourself up by your own bootstraps kind of
yeah,
thing,
he threw that out too. He was like,
then it
every
just
church
crashes.
father, yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, every church father is a bad like dummy. And I'm like, so John taught Polycarp and all them, and they were
Yeah.
all lying. They were all lying because John was apparently dead before 70 AD, right?
But
So Clement,
Josephus, his historical record
yeah,
is correct.
but Josephus, who said that Vespasian
Yeah.
is Messiah, was correct, right? Yeah, okay, cool. Tacitus, a pagan, was also correct, and
Yeah.
so was Dio Cassius, who was also a pagan. They were all correct, right?
Yeah.
They denied Christ as Messiah. All three of them denied Christ as
Yeah.
Messiah. But
Suetonius, Tacitus, all the
yeah, but we can trust
historians that
them
we
over.
have,
We can
they're
trust them
correct.
over the saints. Yeah, the saints are stupid,
But
but these guys, yeah, we got
Clement,
that.
he's wrong.
Yeah, that's great.
The Didache is wrong.
Yeah, the Didache, everything's wrong except for these pagans and this one Jew that recorded the events. That's amazing. That is crazy. That's crazy amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fantastic.
And
People
don't you
watching.
find that most cults, Mormonism, whatever, uh, are either revisionists
Oh
or
yeah.
they have to deny what we all agree on, everybody else agrees, in history.
Oh yeah. And I mean, like, yeah, it's like Mormons with archaeology. Oh no, don't ask that.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, yeah, I just want to know how the Native Americans are
Actually,
Jews. That's interesting. You know.
I've got a book on
Oh
Mormon
yeah.
archaeology with the Hebrew scripts that they find here in America and
Wow.
trying
I
to
mean, it's crazy how they find
blend
those.
back.
It's crazy how they find those lost tribes.
Yeah.
Interesting. They
Even though
crossed.
no historian.
Yeah, they crossed the Bering Strait and got.
Yeah.
Yeah, they crossed. Somehow they crossed there, and wow, it's amazing. The Ice Age was like way past then, but that's cool. They must have got boats and, you know, went over.
Well, I mean, to me, like the article that Gary DeMar, that William Vincent posted on
Oh
Facebook.
yes.
So to me, it's like um, you and I, Orthodox, Presbyterian, we can have these intramural things, but we're using kind of
The
many of the
same.
same
Yeah.
context of church history, 1900. So we're operating in that contour. Um,
Right.
whereas, like Mormons are just redefining so many. They, I've always pointed this out. Mormons believe in Jesus
Yeah.
and the Bible and God and the Holy Spirit, and but they redefine those terms. So it's at what point um, do you slide out of Christianity? I think full preterism is slidden out
There's
of
yeah.
what would be called Christianity historically from a
Yeah, there's no way it doesn't because it's like,
And that
I,
includes the amillennial, postmillennial, premillennial. George Eldon Ladd is a
yeah,
fantastic theologian. The uh, Walter Kaiser,
oh
great,
yeah,
but he's premillennial. Okay, great,
yeah.
great, whatever.
Um,
I can empathize with that.
who is this guy? This guy. I still haven't read this. It's even in the. It's even still I haven't. But Sergei Bulgakov. Apparently,
Ooh,
he is an Orthodox premillennialist, and he made a Apocalypse of John.
find Orthodox, Reformed, Calvinist,
He's
premillennialist. They
Yeah,
do
he's
exist.
Orthodox.
Yeah,
He's Orthodox. So I need to read it one day. I haven't done it because I've been busy with my Leviticus
yeah.
podcast because I've been doing Torah for
Even among liberals,
2 years.
Jürgen Moltmann is
Hmm.
he's a premillennial.
Oh yeah.
He comes right out and says that.
Yeah, a lot of Orthodox will say that Chiliasm like is heresy, but then I'm like I always point out and some of the theologians I know, they're like, yeah, Lance is right. Like, Irenaeus is not a heretic. Saint Justin's not a heretic. Well, why
Right,
is that? Because they're not teaching the form of
right,
Chiliasm
right.
that Augustine and the rest of them said is,
Yeah,
jacked up. Like that's the only reason that like the only reason they were like this is messed up. The only reason people think that is because these people were teaching a form of it that was really crazy. I mean, it's similar to dispensationalism today, where yeah, some of it's really wild. So like we would all generally we would be like even a lot of dispensationalists would be like, yeah, don't teach that. That's crazy, right? That's basically what
yeah,
was going on back then too.
yeah.
Like they're just like, no, like Justin's right. Justin, you can listen to Justin. You can listen to uh Irenaeus. These other guys that are not so smart, don't listen to them. They're crazy.
I can
Like,
understand because they're still by the second, third century. There's synagogue Gentile that's still
yeah.
that's all still going on there.
Hmm.
Um, so like Papias or somebody mentioning something that we know is out of fourth Estra, but that's the
Yeah.
literature they were reading, so
Oh
that's
yeah.
what was going on. And I could see where uh, that amalgamation would come in.
Hmm.
But as time went on, by the time you get to Augustine, um, some of that starts getting clarified. And full preterists will use that and say, well, see, they weren't all unified. But the basic constituent
Yeah.
element, bodily resurrection, end of history, second coming of Christ, all of those things, they're not questioning that.
Well,
It's the
it's like
millennium. It's that
yeah.
debate
Well,
we have today. I mean, we still have,
it's like First Enoch, right? So
yeah,
First Enoch was used like literally they were reading it till the
read
fifth
heavily,
century.
very
Yeah, and
heavily.
they used it theologically until the fifth
Sure.
century. It
Yeah.
kind of ran out of like Steam, I guess, where they were like, yeah, we're not going to use it so much anymore. But they were still using it within certain context anyways.
Popular
So, I mean,
literature.
it still has continued on in the Orthodox Church for centuries. Like it still does it today. Like we even have it in the divine, like we even have mentions in the divine council and like the liturgy.
Yep.
So it's like, oh, well, we get that from First Enoch, and that's influencing some of the New Testament
Sure.
because the people at that time were Enochic Jews, also inside the Pharisee camp and the Essene camp.
You see that
So
in the uh, apocryphal literature, which is, you know,
yeah, it was just
he
part of
is
it.
uh,
It was
in seminary or today. Um, that was mandatory reading. You
yeah, it
got to know
was.
First, Second Maccabees, Wisdom, Psalms of Solomon, Jubilees. I mean, that's all
Well, yeah, they
part of the deal.
the church for I mean they still do it actually. The church used
Yeah.
to use Sirach. They used to use
Oh, yeah.
Sirach for catechism.
Yeah.
Like it was a catechism book. They
Good
were
book.
like, yeah,
Yep.
they're like, this is what we will start you on. You read this while you're reading the like while we're reading through the Old Testament with you and the New Testament with you. And you learn what is in Sirach and you'll learn the start of joining the church. So it's like, full preterists just miss this stuff because they're
Well,
like,
it was in
history's dumb. I want to interpret it how I want, you
it was
know.
in the debate, my opening 20 minutes or whatever,
Yeah,
that, you know, so audience relevance, which the full preterists did not invent that. That's
right.
been going on for, of course, we want to know who and the author's intent and how the audience would have understood. That's a no-brainer. In the context, though, of first century literature, or what they call, Second Temple Judaistic literature. So here you're third century BC, first century AD, even second century AD. So that becomes kind of like the framework. So when you mention things like last day or end of the age or resurrection of the dead, this age to come, Dead Sea Scrolls, that that would have been in the air, and the Bible doesn't redefine what those
No.
terms meant.
Yeah.
The Bible also doesn't invent the term this age, the age to come. It doesn't invent that.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
just picking that up out of the thing. So 500 years from now, if someone discovers a manuscript written by Lance and you're talking about Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader,
Yeah.
I would want to know George Lucas
Yep.
to be able to say, oh, that's what he meant by that. So first century audience relevance. And I brought that up, and Don Preston said, I think the pseudepigraphal, I've read it a little, and I think it's interesting, but I don't think it has any real bearing on what I'm like. It's what's informing the vocabulary.
Yeah. I mean, to
How
be
do you
fair to
not that? And that's basic 101 hermeneutics. I mean,
I mean, to be fair to Don, if he actually read the pseudepigraphia text, like if he actually went through Second Temple Judaism and got the Hebraic
yeah.
mindset, he would not be a full preterist. So, I mean, there
And
you go.
he just recently wrote a second part of the Great Tribulation that
Oh,
he just and he's quoting from John Watts of the Word Biblical Commentary series, which is one of the top tier. That's one of the best
yeah.
you can get. And he just takes these snippets out and he quotes off of another person, First Peter and temple imagery that's going on.
That's what I told in my
Yeah.
book that he
And
read.
I went back, I have those works. And so I went back and I'm like, so he said, well, exile from Israel is separation and death, and return to the land is life.
Do you remember
And I'm
do you
like,
remember
that's not how these guys are using.
well
It's
Don
not
does that a
how they're
lot.
doing it.
Don does that a lot. Do you remember when I did the debate with him as Sergius Bale
Oh,
and he
he
quite
even had
literally
me fooled on it.
I had to do he kept challenging me to debate, but then would block me. And I'm like, okay, so you don't want to debate, you're scared. So he kept bringing up scholars during that debate, though, that written debate.
Yeah,
So I read them, and I was like, here is
I
where
read them.
he, yeah, I was like, here's where it proves that Don Preston is taking this quote out of context. Here's another one where he takes this. He did it all 3 or 4 times that he did that, and I was like, wow, man, like you're just like you pull straws out of thin air is what you
And I
do.
admitted with Jason Bradfield, I was using D.A. Carson, and I was
Yeah,
kind of overreading him a bit.
right, right.
Jason called me out on that. I went back and then I apologized. I said, Jason, actually, you're right here.
You're right. Yeah.
So but Don, he's never wrong,
No,
ever.
it's see your problem is you have academic honesty.
I'm
He's
misquoting someone. Yeah,
yeah.
like, oh,
You're like, oh,
sorry.
I was wrong. I'm
Yeah, I was
sorry.
wrong.
Yeah, I publicly announced that
Right.
I was wrong on this. Don Preston's like, I'm never wrong. No one. I'm never wrong. I'm always right. I'm Don K. Preston. I'm the greatest blah 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 in the world. But then he can change his mind about the body of Christ being blown up in the ascension and then not tell us what he actually believes about it now. And oh, but that's okay. That's fine. I'm Don K. Preston. I'm always right until I'm not, but then I'm always right still. Like, okay, that's cool, bro. That's
Feed
cool.
into that echo chamber of
Yeah.
everybody telling
I think
you how
I think the
wonderful you are.
I think the echo chamber is getting a little tight for him though, because I think they're kind of starting to go, Donald, I don't think we understand what you're trying to say. Why don't you explain it to us,
Well,
buddy?
because he's like the issue of the Great Tribulation. At one in this new article, and I'm going to do a thing on it. He wants it exclusive to Jerusalem, 66 to 70 AD. But Max King and everybody else recognizes the tribulation
Yeah.
is also worldwide. It's not,
Yep.
you can't, but he goes back and forth on this. There's places where he'll say it, oh, it's worldwide. And then this is exclusively covenantal wrath poured out on Jerusalem, great tribulation. I'm like, well, you can't have it both ways.
Nope.
It's worldwide.
Yep. It's got to be universal in scope.
Right. I mean, that's the
Doesn't
whole
work out.
point of it.
I'd also argue like how many times does the Revelation actually say Jerusalem in it? It says it like four times, and it never once talks
New
about
Jerusalem.
yeah, it never once talks about Jerusalem, like old
Right.
Jerusalem. I wonder why. It's almost like it's not there anymore and has been destroyed. And John is in Ephesus, like, or John was in Ephesus and got exiled by, I don't know, maybe that guy named Domitian. I don't know. Maybe I
Yeah.
could be totally wrong, Don, but I mean,
And what would
we got,
the people in
we,
Laodicea who are not under any persecution,
yeah,
their problem is they're wealthy. They're
yeah,
living an affluent, it's kind of, it's going to their head kind of thing.
yeah,
They're certainly not being persecuted.
exactly.
Um, why would, yeah, Jerusalem is fault? Well, we kind of knew that already. Jesus at the cross. I mean, he ended, so
Well, and why not warn the Jerusalem Christians too? Like, hey guys, something's about to happen there. Y'all better get out,
yeah.
like Jesus said for you to do, right? Like that would make a lot of sense. But clearly John doesn't give, or John and Jesus don't give a rat's behind about them because they're like, oh yeah, just get destroyed. Oh, maybe you can flee to Pella. We'll give you like some. I mean, the full preterists will say
And he
that, but
said, and John says, I am your brother in the tribulation.
yeah.
There. So he's writing to these Asia Minor, East
So
Coast
so
or
they
West Coast
obviously
churches. So they're undergoing the Great Tribulation, which is exclusive for,
yeah, kind of weird, huh?
yeah,
I mean, it's just kind of
doesn't work.
strange.
Doesn't work.
Yeah. I actually plugged my book into ChatGPT and then I asked it what I asked it Don Preston for my part of my section about Don Preston. How much of this book will change if I in that section, how much will it change if I uh if I take out all the parts about the body of Christ being divested from his humanity? It was like 60% of your book will your 60% of this section will have to be changed, and I'm not sure how to actually fix this. And I was like, that's fascinating. Like, I don't know if it's accurate on
Ed,
the
he's
but like,
Ed. You saw my thing with Ed Stevens.
yeah,
So Ed. So now we don't know what exactly he's because he's saying, well, I've changed my mind on Jesus's body was burned up or destroyed or I'm like, well, then are you dropping Alan Bondar's book that you still sell and publish and bring
yeah,
it forward to?
and like that means like okay,
It's an
let's just
embarrassment.
yeah, and if he changes his whole thing, that's all of his books. All of his books are out of like outdated. Like I would personally, if that happened to me, like when I update this book, I'm not gonna sell this one anymore, right?
No, you're not.
I mean, I'm not gonna sell it.
I'll
I
have to
mean,
get the new volume. You're going
I
to
would
keep my
not.
forward or whatever in there.
Yeah, like I'm gonna give it for free to people if they want, I guess, the first edition. But like the updated version, I'm gonna be like, yeah, the updated's better because the new supersedes the old, right? It doesn't get rid of the old, but it's still there. Like
Yeah.
that's another part I'm gonna add to my book because I don't think I think I focused on it a little bit, but like some of the focuses that I'm gonna do when I update it is like lose this idea that the old covenant ended at all. Because like the old covenant is still here. It's still in effect because like there's the moral code of Leviticus. Why is that still in effect? Well, it's because of the new covenant is superseding because Christ fulfilled it. That's why like Christ did the sacrifice, himself.
Right.
So that's why like Leviticus 1 through 5, you don't have to do. Leviticus 6 through 8, he's the priest, so the priest he doesn't have to like
Yeah.
the priest doesn't have to go on the Day of Atonement and do that because
A
Christ
change
was
in a few things does not mean a change in
yeah,
everything.
and
It's
Christ is actively fulfilling them today still too.
I think
So
that's Matthew 5:17 and
yeah,
18.
yeah, Matthew 5 and Matthew 7. Like, I mean, uh, you know, I knew that stuff, but like I just never I didn't go as deep as I probably could have with it.
Yeah.
So when I change my book, I may even take Don Preston out of it entirely because to be honest, if he never comes up with his like updated version, I mean, all of his books are complete nonsense now. Like, I mean, it is what it is. So
Yeah.
like, I think it would be better if I have just like Max King and uh, I can get rid of Alan Bonder's part too because Alan Bonder's like, this is stupid. I don't believe in it anymore. Maybe I'll do it like in a some kind of like this is what Alan Bonder previously believed. You know, maybe something like that. But I mean, the thing is, until he gives us like his actual ascension view, you can't have I can't in good conscience keep Don Preston in this book. Like, you know,
Well, you the strange thing about Alan and and Jen
oh
Jen
fish
Fishburne is another
Fishburne,
one.
Fishburne.
So they still believe that the scriptures teach a full preterist view. They just don't believe
Yeah,
the scriptures.
which is weird. Like
That is
you guys don't read the other
bizarre.
stuff. That's
Yeah.
fun.
That is so I mean that is just so you believe that the scriptures from beginning to end teach a fulfillment in 70 AD, and they knew that all the way in the prophets and all that was fulfilled, but you don't believe in the God that brought that fulfillment about. I
Right.
that
It's
then
yeah,
how did he know? How did Daniel know? Because whether you take Daniel's second century BC, let's say he's second century BC. How did he get to 70?
yeah,
That would be an amazing Nostradamus kind of
yeah.
thing,
No kidding.
when there's no God, there's no, it,
Well, even the
it's
liberal scholars have a hard time with that because they're like, okay, like even if it's written like post all of this stuff has happened, like
yeah,
okay, like even the ones that are like, yeah, he wrote it during the time of Antiochus
yeah,
Epiphanes and then just messed it up on chapter 11 through
yeah,
12.
yeah.
Like
Rest
okay,
of it he got right.
yeah, but it's even that though, like then the New Testament's like, yeah, this is getting fulfilled today. So it's like,
Right, right.
wait, okay, um,
Or Isaiah's prediction that the knowledge of the Lord would go through all.
yeah, it's like, okay,
And it
interesting.
has.
Yeah,
It's all over. We're talking about Jesus and Isaiah and Moses all over the world.
yep,
There's
yep,
no place in the world you can go where you can't strike up a conversation with Japanese or Filipino or wherever and mention the word Moses and oh yeah, Moses.
you might
What
just
that happened?
yeah, like you got to go like really deep into Chile and
Yeah.
Argentina and some other places to find anybody that doesn't know who Jesus is,
And as a Gentile, why do I care about
Yeah,
Moses? Right?
I mean the Gentiles were already elected already, Sam.
Yeah.
Romans 11 says that they were elected in 70
Yeah.
AD. So therefore all Israel, that's Jews included, have to be saved. So you cannot be saved today, Sam. Don't you know?
But
Don't-
see, Jesus said this generation, some of you standing here,
Yeah.
they're when you bring up these more complex issues that of which none of them, Mike Sullivan,
oh
Don,
yeah.
none of they don't have any answers. Rick Welch, none of them.
Yeah.
And they're complex issues because if this is a worldview, then it's going to have its simplicity to it, but it's also going to have the world is complex. It's going to have its complexity
Yeah.
to it, and they can't go there. So when they start seeing that, you will not finish going through the cities of Israel until the time text, and they always go back to that, and it's like the Bible. Let's say you're right. But the Bible is surely more God is interested than just 70 AD.
Yeah, I hope.
You got to come up with why is abortion wrong?
I mean, at least like
I
join
mean,
Islam
something.
or I mean, at least join Islam or something. Like, I mean, make it fun, you know? Like,
And you can see where Doug King, Living Presence, Max King went into the Ken Wilber integral
Yeah.
theology, universal, because that gives them a world of very
I mean,
complex world to begin to explore where all roads lead to Jesus because of what Jesus fulfilled and because of what Jesus did, Doug King would say. And so all roads do lead and acknowledge all will acknowledge Jesus as Lord. And but there's an eternal conscience of God that's going on in all religions. And God,
yeah,
see, I don't agree with that at all. But what King understood was that
this can't be
we
the end
can't
of it.
just talk about 70 AD every day.
Yeah.
You got to go beyond this into the complexities of, there's a big giant world out there.
I mean, it might
What to
kill
do
your
with it.
church. It might kill your
And
church in Ard.
church. You got to deal with the church.
I mean, like it might kill your church in Ardmore, Oklahoma, if you just only say 70 AD the entire time. I mean, it might. I
Right.
mean, I don't know who did that, but I mean, maybe Don should listen to that one because 70 AD the whole time, that kills your church. It tends to. And some guy in Ardmore, Oklahoma's church got to, ended their church because somebody was constantly going 70 AD,
70
70
AD.
AD, 70 AD. And everyone's like, I get it, 70
Sunday
AD,
morning, we're going to
70
do the
AD,
passage of Isaiah 3
and
and
how it's
how
about
this was
70
fulfilled in
AD.
70 AD.
And some guy's like, I'm
Every
sick of
verse.
some guy's like, I get 70 AD, but how does this fix my life?
Yeah.
How do I do this? How do I reconcile with my wife? And John's like, 70 AD.
Yeah.
It's like
My son's a heroin addict.
yeah, 70
can you
AD,
help me?
Sam.
70 AD.
It don't you feel the power of that, Sam?
70 AD.
70 AD. 70 AD. Just
So
say
every
70.
conference that you went to, 'cause that's where I first met you, um,
Yeah.
the 25, 20, 25, during that period of time, that's what I started. Every conference was exactly the same.
70 AD.
70 AD.
Yeah. I got invited so many times to those and I just never
Yeah.
could do it. Don's like, you should come. You can speak at my conference. I know you're a strong man of God, strong man of faith.
Yeah.
You're going to be a great asset to full preterism. Boy, was that prophet wrong.
When did we first meet?
Uh, it was after I debated Rivers of Eden.
Oh yeah, right.
You uh you had been talking to me and I was always
It's
like,
a long time
"Oh
ago.
yeah, that Sam Frost character. I don't know about that guy. He seems all right.
The
Let's
Chris
all be."
Camillo, is that his name?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I I was actually still nice to you like when I was a full preterist. I was like one of the few that was like, "Why can't we all just get along, bruh?" Because I was like still in my hippie, like, love Jesus, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, all roads lead to Christ, brother. And
Yeah.
it's like, it's like, oh man, like after talking to the IO guy, I got my butt handed to me because he was like, yeah, so how are you party elect today? I'm like, I got to be
Yeah.
honest, I don't know how I'm party elect today. Oh no, oh no. And
Yeah.
then, so I was
Well,
like,
we were around what was it? Corey Schultz.
yeah, yeah.
Um, I when I first and Rivers of Eden was the other one.
When it was like
Started
IO.
first hearing little inklings of Israel, what is now Israel only,
Yeah, when it was like
which is
IO
broken up into
2.0.
the
Yeah.
the full preterists are fighting amongst themselves, and now the Israel only people are fighting amongst
Yeah,
themselves. They
all five of
fragment
them.
so fast.
Yeah, all five of them are going at it with their 40
All
fake
five
accounts.
of them are
Yeah,
fighting. Yeah,
with their 40 fake accounts,
yeah.
liking everybody's s- comments, which is really bizarre. Um, gosh,
I
yeah. But yeah, like when I did that, I was like, I'm gonna go talk to Frost because he's an ex-full preterist. I'm gonna see what he says. And then I had a friend, he was like, I know you're in the middle of a faith crisis now, so maybe you should read those church fathers that I keep telling you to
yeah,
read. And you're always like, I don't want to read them church fathers. They're a bunch of dumb, ignorant, blah, blah,
yeah.
blah. And then I read them and I'm like, oh, they're not
No, they're
actually
quite
dumb and
smart.
ignorant.
These
Yeah, they're
are
actually like,
very
actually
literate.
really, really geniuses, actually. Crap. Oh, dang it. You know, and man, if full preterists would read the church fathers, they'd be like, yeah, they're not idiots. Wow, that's amazing.
Because we think in terms of Hegelian or Marxist history's progressing, so the ancients were really stupid.
Right.
We today are, and that's not biblical to think. I think that the ancients were, I think we're getting dumber.
Yeah, we probably are, especially with ChatGPT.
I think you
I
don't have
mean,
to work hardly any.
I'm just saying there's a certain somebody, I'm not going to name her name, but
Oh,
uses ChatGPT for every single comment. And
yeah.
I'm over here like, oh my gosh, like I just read this article about brain rot, and I think that's happening to this poor person. Like every single thing they write is ChatGPT. I'm like,
Whatever Chat
God,
GPT says.
I'm like, oh my gosh, like and they don't even seem to realize that like it tries to please you, so it will hallucinate responses, and it does hallucinate. She hallucinates responses. I'm like,
It'll tell you what you want to know.
I was like, this thing is like literally contradicting itself, and you're still
Yeah.
posting all the stuff that it's
Depends on
saying.
the wording that you put in there.
It was. I was like, oh my gosh, this is, and the IO people are all doing it. I'm like, this is bizarre. Like,
And well, Don brought up in our debate on my Greek
oh, chat, yeah,
text,
he uses it too now, so he's
and
getting.
I was just, and then I did another thing, which was the same thing that I did in 2020, 2024, and I did it. Then I did a video of it just recently, a couple months ago. Same thing, and but Don and Mike are convinced that I've changed and that what I did previously is in error because Chat GPT and what I'm doing now is right Greek analysis. And I'm like,
It's because it
I'm
can't
not
read it.
I'm not changing. I it's the same thing.
Well, I'm sure what they did was they put show how different, and then they probably
You can
put
put
in
all
their own
kinds of stuff in that.
biases. Yeah, you can throw whatever you want into it, and then it's gonna say like, yeah, I agree. Sam Frost said this, and this is different from how he said this, which is true. You said it different, but ChatGPT is an LLM, so it doesn't realize the
It's not a
context.
mind that thinks.
Yeah. It's not able to get the subtlety that, hey, actually Frost is saying the same thing that he just said
Yeah.
in this one. But
The
you if y'all had just actually read it, y'all would have gone, yeah, this isn't an argument I should make.
Jesus
Right?
is comparing the past tribulations, which is why he uses since the creation. Why would he
Yeah.
even bring that? Why bring that up? Because Israel was not started at the creation of
Um,
time. So
and
why even?
then
And that's immediately in a Jew's mind. Oh, Noah's flood, which Jesus mentions in the days of Noah. He mentions specifically. He talks about that.
and they're so
Don doesn't
desperate.
touch that. Don does not even touch that. He mentions the days of Noah.
Well, and they're so desperate to try
It's
to discredit you. That's why. I mean, they're like, "Oh, I want to discredit Sam Frost because I like it's all that it is, you
and
know."
that we see that happening. Paul, you so dislike a person that
Yeah.
you're not even seeing the you're not even able to give a rational thing because
It's like those 100 videos Don Preston has of me where he doesn't refute anything. He just goes, Don Lance Conley is a vile, arrogant a-hole. I'm like,
yeah,
that's cool.
inconsistent and all
Yeah.
scholars. I can quote all the scholars. Like
I'm like, do it.
no scholar agrees with you, Don.
I'm like, please do it. Let's see what you come up with because I bet it's going to be out of context and
It's
more.
right.
Um, yeah, I mean, the man just he made 100 videos refuting my book, but there's not a single refutation at all. Like it's amazing. It's kind of crazy.
Right, and he turns it around to where, and this is typical of that no one has ever said anything that Lance is now propagating. No
Yeah.
one has ever said, like, no one. I'm quoting Irenaeus for crying out. I'm quoting. I'm in the mainstream here. Um,
Yeah.
it's Gary DeMar does the same thing. I've lost all sense of
Respect.
respect
I
for
have.
Gary. I really have. I so the 88, 89 when I first heard of Gary and was reading that stuff. Just so admired him. And when I finally met him, he spoke at one of the conferences there, John Anderson's in Sparta, North Carolina, because he would be at several of our conference. He'd be on the dais as well. So when I first met, I was like, oh man, Gary DeMar, because he put out so much stuff, and the Gary DeMar that I'm looking at today is that's not the
Yeah.
that's not the Gary DeMar that I was, you know.
Well, I mean, like, what was it? That one day that one day I just was straight up like, man, you're being really nasty to Frost right now. And
Yeah,
and then it turned into he demanded I say something about the land or whatever, and I was like, well, it's this. And then he makes like two whole articles about me, which was crazy because like
yeah,
I had the whole Orthodox like eschatology world be like, Lance, did you realize you got mentioned by Gary DeMar today? I was like, I did. They're like, yeah, he says you're a butthead. I was like,
yeah.
that's cool.
I
I
can
was like,
admit that
yeah,
I
I
am
was like,
a
well,
butthead.
that's probably pretty true. I can be kind
Yeah,
of
I
a
can be a
butthead.
butthead.
But then it was weird because he agreed exactly what I said, but he tried to twist it and say that I was claiming something else. And I was like, that's crazy.
I
Okay.
think Jason Bradfield. That's why I haven't written anything
Bradfield's done a
on
good job.
DeMar,
Like,
because whatever I'm like, yeah, well, he did it.
yeah,
Bradfield did it, so we're good. You know,
yeah, like in the reformed circles, like Jason Bradfield is kicking DeMar's booty.
he's
I
just
mean,
nailing him.
yeah, I mean it's I gotta give him that. I'm not
Yeah.
reformed. I don't
No,
agree
well,
with
no,
Jason, but hey, you're kicking butt, man.
he's
I'm proud of you
he's
for that. Um,
because
yeah,
when I read Bradfield's articles, I'm like, that's just bang, bang, bang. I mean,
yeah,
you're just quoting his words. He'll quote whole paragraphs of.
yeah,
And he's like, and then he said this over here, and
yeah.
and it's like Gary is he's wanting to have his cake and eat it too. He doesn't,
Well,
like the
he's
Gavin Newsom of
yeah.
theology.
We should call him Greasy Gary.
Yeah, basically.
Like greasy Gavin. That's what they call him. Even the Democrats call him Greasy Gavin. Um, yeah,
He's clearly California slippery.
yeah,
That's the Cal. Look, you got to understand Californians.
yeah. So
I'm not
maybe
casting any aspersions.
maybe Greasy Gary. That's a
Well,
new.
the other thing here, the last uh, couple of 10 minutes here, I did want to. What's the issue today? Israel. So once again, here Israel. Israel
Oh
never
yeah,
seems to leave the news. So you get um, you know, this strange thing going on in the conservative MAGA Tucker Carlson,
oh
uh,
yeah,
Candace O. These are the big influencers here, and I've watched these guys for years, especially Tucker. I've seen his whole career. Um, and then he's interviewing Huckabee, and he's interviewing uh, Ted Cruz.
oh yeah,
And Huckabee's answer I grew up with. I totally understand. Ted Cruz, Genesis 12, totally understand. I've been in church most of my life. Grew up with this standard answer. And Tucker's, they're not the people. They're cut off from. And I'm like, Tucker, are you not getting this? Not everything is about the Bible and politics and prophecy, or the
right,
Bible and prophecy. There, there's a strategery here, um, uh, operating in a part of the world that a good deal of that part of the world wants America destroyed.
right.
So there's alliances and things of that nature that are going on, and which have always that's the stuff of that's why
Yeah,
we sometimes I'll make alliances with Stalinist Russia if it's going to get my point that Nazi Germany has to be destroyed, and Stalin
right,
agrees with that. So let's crush them in from both sides, and we'll
right.
hang out with Stalin. I'm not endorsing Stalin, but
Yeah,
we need him. We need Stalin here at this
yeah. At
point.
this point, we gotta use them.
Gotta
Yeah,
have him.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that just goes out the window with these guys because it's so ideological. And I'm like, that's not what's driving this right now. But anyway, talk about that, and then from an Orthodox perspective too. So
Yeah, so in Orthodoxy, I mean, Israel is the church. So the state of Israel, it's not it's not the Israel of the Bible. So like that debate he had with Cruz, like I actually agreed with Carlson. Like Israel's not the Israel
Yeah.
that you're talking about, Senator Cruz, and
Yeah.
think he did it to Huckabee too. And
Yeah, he did.
Huckabee said some crazy stuff. Like it was like, and I'm like, I mean, I get it. You're a dispensational Zionist. That makes perfect sense why
Standard
you say
John
that.
Hagee stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, like obviously, I think, and the funny thing is, the other day when I was talking to the IBV full predators, back to him, he's like, "What do you think about Israel?" And I'm like, "Man, it's terrible. Like Israel's like genociding Palestinians, and I hope that doesn't get us deplatform crap."
Yeah.
But they're doing that to them, and you know,
Now I'm
Iran,
well aware too that the Yemen and Hezbollah and
yeah,
they equally have a lot of tens of
yeah,
hundreds of
and
thousands of blood on their hands
And I mean,
too.
Iran is not the greatest nation either, obviously. Like,
Not at all.
so
I
like
didn't
the with
lose
like
any sleep when Ayatollah was. I was like, okay,
I did a little, but not for the like, oh, that guy's a good guy or something.
yeah.
Like that's
They're
not
they're
why.
brutal.
Yeah, like that's not why I was like, oh God. I
Yeah,
was thinking more like, oh crap, things are gonna destabilize just like Iraq, and we're gonna have like ISIS 3.0 or something. Like,
we'll
yeah, we're
see.
we're deleting everybody from existence by chopping all their heads off.
Yeah,
Like, oh great.
it's a
No,
very
I
volatile situation.
my take is just the Orthodox take is that Israel is the church, and uh this is just a bunch of states fighting each other, and Christ will win. Maybe it leads some way to Romans 11 finally being complete, because I don't believe that's complete. So
Yeah,
maybe that in some way eventually helps that happen, but I don't like the idea that people are like, yeah, let's help make Jesus come back. Let's do
yeah,
let's usher in like this holy war so that I'm like, you guys are crazy. Like
yeah,
that's not how Revelation works. Revelation has Jesus literally like, hey, guess what? The emperor, don't use Christian nationalism.
yeah.
Like Christian nationalism, Revelation kind of says it's a heresy. Like I mean it
I don't
does. Like,
buy into the Christian
yeah. I mean it
nationalism.
does. And like
Yes, Christianity influenced a great
and like
deal.
aligning,
The founding of America clearly was one of the majors out of there's several, but that was one of the major.
yeah, because
Uh,
like,
I don't think that
Jesus,
they were going
yeah,
around saying we're a Thomas
because
Jefferson was not going around saying we're a Christian nation.
I'm pretty positive that if Jesus, showed up today and we were like, "So, which party do you want to choose, Jesus?" He'd be like,
You wouldn't
"Well, first of all, what the
want
heck
nothing
is
to
up?"
do with any of them.
I think he'd first say, "Well, what's up with you guys like committing the sin of usury? Like all of you are
Yeah, he
doing
wouldn't
this,"
want any.
and we'd
I
all be
don't know
like,
what part of my kingdom is not of this world. We don't know.
we'd all be like doing this, like,
Yeah,
because he just brought up usury. Oh crap!
yeah,
Like, I mean, stuff like that. Like he'd go like abortion's bad, and then he'd be like, you know, some of the stuff that all it'd be like all the stuff that the Republicans are doing, all the stuff that the Democrats are doing. It's all crap. Like
it's
you're not part of me. Like he'd probably say something like that, you know?
yeah. Oh
Um,
yeah. No, the whole world is condemned.
yeah.
There's no, there's
He'd be like,
not
why don't
one
you
nation that Jesus would say, oh, yeah, that one over
it'd
there.
be like, why don't you get out of Babylon right now? It's
The
like
whole
the
world is
whole,
Babylon.
yeah, because the world is
The
Babylon.
world is, I think that's what Revelation is speaking to.
That's what
I
I
think,
think
I
too.
think uh, it's the megapolis, the great city that's riding upon the powers of oppression and powers of domination. This is beast. These two go right in hand, and uh, that's what John is seeing, and that has been in John's generation. You would call it Rome, and
Yeah,
it's been in the third generation, fourth, fifth, sixth, because the nations change from Napoleon or Pol Pot or Stalin or whoever. That all changes, but the principalities and powers behind it They don't
They don't.
change.
Still the spirit of
Still the
the
spirit,
spirit of the devil.
and
Devil's
I think
behind the
John is
details.
seeing that, and
I mean, he has to be because you get the like when you get the image of the dragon, you
yeah,
get 10 heads and 7 horns,
dragons, right?
which is the 70 nations, which
Yeah,
is a link back to Genesis.
yeah.
So he's basically saying like, yeah, you see who's in control of the world.
He's behind the
Satan
scenes.
Satan's behind the scenes, but this is being revealed to you, which is what he also says in Revelation 20, like
Yeah.
Satan's being exposed, right? So, and it's
Well, I mean, you
obvious.
see the dragon first
Yeah,
in 12, 7 heads, 10 horns. So clearly speaking to who it's speaking to. And then the
yeah,
next chapter, you see this nation in John's day, Rome, and it looks exactly like the dragon. Yeah, because that's whatever nation that the dragon influences in its power, it's going to look exactly. That's the point that's going on there. So these megalithic nations that rise up and do what it is that they do, and you have to buy into the two-horned lamb that's linking up with it and saying, yeah, this this is God's on this nation's side.
yep.
You you don't
And
you're not for this nation, you're not for God.
yeah,
And John is seeing this, and I'm like, well, that just translates into every generation until the end.
it does.
That's
Yeah.
what we're dealing with here today. So I don't have to take a side on what do you think, Iran, Israel, and
Well, and
I'm
that's
not
the
God. I'm not
thing.
going to work all of that out. I'm on the side of Jesus Christ, and I'm on the side of those that are smashed, broken, have been trampled upon, spit out, decimated. So I'm
Well, and
watching
that's
these
the thing.
Iranian
Peter,
Christians
I mean,
migrating out of into Armenia, and a lot of them are Iranian Christians. And I'm seeing the Orthodox, Catholic, Protestant
yeah.
ministry and missionaries that are taking them in, and I'm like, and that's the people of God. That's who I'm concerned with.
I I just hope with that war that nobody bombs the tomb of Esther and Mordecai. Like, oh,
Yeah,
that's like my
that'd be
biggest
bad.
like I would be so sad about that because like that is such a like valuable tomb like to
Well,
history and
but
all that.
living here, would it be great that you didn't have this? Because no one, UAE and Qatar and these places, they
Yeah,
don't like Iran. None of them, Shia Muslims are in the minority,
right.
but they're very vocal. So
In
a lot of
Iran,
these
yeah.
guys don't. That's why they're kind of sitting in the back seat, even though UAE and are being bombed. I mean, Iran's bombing them all.
Yeah, they're
They're
trying to take out their
they're
desalination
trying to
plant.
stir up a whole hornet's nest here.
Well, yeah, the thing is if they can get their desalination plants, they pretty much can win because
It's
I
an
think it was like
interesting little thing.
I think it's like Saudi Arabia and the UAE for that matter. If they got all their desalination plants were just bombed to oblivion and they couldn't
Yeah,
repair them in time, they've got about like 3 weeks of water that they can supply to the entire nation.
it's
So
it's
it's yeah,
this can play out in several
it can.
ways.
It can play out all sorts of ways, but at the end of the day, we are of a heavenly nation. We're not
I keep
aligned
coming
with
back to that.
we're not aligned with
Nope,
we can't be aligned like yes, I am an American,
not taking
but
sides.
I'm not it's like John, like I am Roman, I'm in Rome, but
Yeah,
don't do as the Romans do, right?
yeah,
Maybe don't do as all the Americans do all the
yeah.
time. Like maybe dominion over everybody is not the way. Maybe like you do it through like feeding others and taking care of other nations and taking care of your own people before, I don't know.
Like this.
Maybe be a Christian socialist like Lance Conley is.
No, don't be a Christian.
That might work. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
You
You
need to
don't have to
read
do it.
James Cone. Have you ever read James Cone?
I haven't, but
Liberation
I read
Theology.
I've read way too much Sergius Bulgakov and I love him.
And
He
he's
was a
got
great
some conservative
he does. He's
Eastern
very
Orthodox people
I
too.
do. I do. I read a lot
You
of
find them all over the place.
but it's funny because I read a lot of Russian, so they're all a bunch of like they're like communism is bad, but socialism, if you put
Yeah,
Christ in it, hey, there you go. Maybe,
yeah,
maybe we can make it work. I don't know, but that's what they try, and I don't think that it can work if you put it into paper like perfectly. I don't think
yeah.
you could do that. But I'm like, it'd be nice if we could do like certain things that are socialistic and put it towards our tax money instead of war all the time. That's my philosophy on it.
It's
If I could get three, if I could get like one thing accomplished or two, I'd be happy. I'd be like, all right, I can die in peace. Like, all right, that's cool. Universal education, universal healthcare. Cool. I've won.
yeah.
I'm good. Everybody's happy. Maybe. I hope. I don't know.
Well,
Maybe it'll
Lincoln
screw you
said you
up.
can't please all the people all the time.
Do you know that Lincoln actually read Karl Marx?
Yeah,
I thought that was the most that's me off topic,
yeah.
but since you said that, like I was just like that is the craziest
Well,
thing, but
Lincoln
you
was
don't
very well read.
he was a
Yeah,
very
he was a
smart,
very
very educated.
Elton Trueblood, um, who has written 100 books. Elton
Oh yeah.
Trueblood. So Trueblood comes out of a Friends Quakers kind of background, but he's a scholar nonetheless. And he wrote a brief uh, a theological look at Lincoln.
Right.
And when I read that book years, I was like, man, uh, Lincoln was an extremely in depth, kind of a philosopher thinker. Um, hated the Civil War. He absolutely hated it.
Yeah.
Uh, and there, for him, there was no justification of both sides were, um, but something had to be done about, this barbarism of
Well,
slavery, something, we got to do, and then secession and all the rest of it. He's like, we
well,
can't.
you know who was a really deep theological thinker? Charles Guiteau. I'm just joking. Everybody that doesn't know who that is,
They don't
Charles
know who
Guiteau is
that
the
is.
one that's the guy that assassinated William McKinley. He
Yeah,
was a full
and he's the
preterist.
full preterist of the Oneida
Yeah,
community there in
he
New
got
York.
kicked out of one night cult because
Yeah, they
they
didn't
didn't.
even want him.
Nobody wanted to have sexual relations with him. So unfortunate
I
for
guess
poor
that's the one
Charles.
thing about full preterism they
It
haven't
always leads
wandered
back to
into.
sexual cults. It's weird, isn't it? It's like it's still doing it today. They're like, yeah, that sounds great. Like, why? Why are you're all repeating history and y'all don't even know the history? That's hilarious.
That's a
Uh,
dead giveaway. When you start using words like compound and
yeah,
the gun locker, we need more guns.
yeah. Like,
That's a
oh
pure.
no.
And then I need all. God told me that none of you can have sex with any of the women in the compound except me.
I'm out of here before they
That's
start
a
making
dead
me drink
giveaway
the
right there.
Kool-Aid.
It's like,
Yeah, I'm out of here before y'all start making me drink the Kool-Aid.
yeah,
I'm just
I'm gonna raise
saying.
my hand. Didn't anyone raise their hand and say, "Wait, what?"
I hope so, but they probably didn't. But like honestly, who wants to join Mike Sullivan's communion? I wouldn't. That sounds just horrible.
He doesn't have communion.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, dang it, you're right.
Yeah, he
He
denies
can't have
me.
a
I don't even know if he goes to church.
he probably doesn't.
He
I
recently,
mean most of them don't. So they're like, I'm gonna do this by myself. I'm a lone ranger.
we recently did a show, his last show, and we can conclude here. I want to get your thoughts on this. So
Oh,
his show is Israel wanted meat. They were tired of the manna, and so God gives them what they want. And Israel wanted a king and to be like other nations, and God gave him that, even though what they were wanting was wrong. Christians won Armageddon in the Middle East. Looks like God might be giving it to them.
that's his
That's
whole
his thing
thing.
because this is
Isaiah
what's
Isaiah
going on
2.
right now is self-fulfilled prophecy by the futurist. In other words, the reason why the Middle East issues are going on right now today is because of futurism.
They would
Like,
still be going on even if they were
you
all
don't
full
understand
preterists.
politics.
Yeah, they would still be going on if even if they were full preterists. Like even if everybody was a full preterist, it would still be going on.
Yeah, because politics is interested in oil, land, and money.
Yeah, because okay, the this is what
Oil,
would
land, and
happen.
money is what's driving this.
Well, this is what would happen because okay, the Christians, they're not really a part of Israel because they're the minority there. They're the minority in Iran. Well, what do you think's going to happen? They don't believe that Jesus is the Messiah, so these Jews and secular Jews are going to fight with the Muslims because
Yeah,
they all do not want to party with each other.
right.
And
That
then the Christians over here like, hey guys, why don't you just believe the Messiah is Jesus Christ and let's all party and have a good shish kebab? Hey,
I'm just
maybe I should be back in my old like, yeah, man, Jesus loves everybody, bruh. Maybe I
well,
should get back to
it's almost you're getting to the
that.
place. I guess their argument is now that if everyone was full preterist, we would be living in this peaceful kind of world. So futurism is the reason for the ills. And I don't, you know, care what you think, hate him, love him, Donald Trump, but I don't think Donald Trump is thinking about, I think I want to bring about the second coming of Jesus. Let's bomb
Yeah,
Iran.
I doubt
I don't
that's what
think he's thinking that.
I don't think so either.
He's, whatever I don't know what, whatever he's thinking,
He's probably like, I
but he's
just want to
definitely
go
not
play
thinking
some
about,
golf.
I wonder if the full preterists are true or not.
I bet that's not even a part of
It's
his
not even
mind.
in his radar.
He's like, what is a fool
What is it? What
preterist?
is the
A
full preterist?
fool? What is a preterist? Oh, it's a fool. I get it. It's a
Yeah.
fool. Yes, my name is Donald Trump. God bless America.
And
God
this
bless
is
Trumpy Bear.
driven by uh, egos, money, land,
It is, yeah.
power. It's
That's all of it.
it's
Like
Netanyahu is not concerned with fulfillment of the Torah.
if he was,
He
he wouldn't
doesn't
kill.
care about that.
If he was, he wouldn't cut down all the
He
trees
just
and all this
doesn't
other
like
stuff.
Muslims.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't read Torah. None of them read Torah. If they read Torah, they would be a lot more peaceful than they are,
They're
and they're
not.
not. And then if and here's the thing too,
Doesn't care about it.
if the Shia Muslims would read the Quran more, they would be the same way. Because Muhammad actually was trying to be peaceful in most cases. Most cases, I will not say in not
Not at
all, but
all. He was
you
a
know,
bloody
he
guy.
I mean, look, even the former supreme leader of Iran was like, I'm going to issue a fatwa, no nukes.
Yeah.
Like most people don't know that he issued a fatwa like, no, it's the spirit of
Yeah.
Islam. He was like the spirit of Islam should be against nuclear, like using nukes on people. I was like, what? Like I didn't know he said that. That was interesting. Like I don't think he's
With
great.
Iran, people not them wanting nukes. I'm like, well, so why wouldn't a nation want to be able to protect itself against another nation that they know wants them to? Israel wants them destroyed. They want
Yeah,
to destroy Israel. I said, well, how do you get a detente?
yeah,
How do you get a detente? Well, equal power. That's
yeah.
how you get a detente. And then nobody's firing at anybody.
Yeah, and I yeah. So it's interesting, but
Yeah,
yeah, I just pray that the I pray that all the war ceases, obviously, because
I
I
hate
don't
war.
yeah. When little kids are dying, I'm just
I hate
like,
war.
stop it. Like
Not
that's
good.
me. That's me. I'm like, you can hear the children screaming. I don't like that. That's bad. That's horrible. War
It's
is hell. War is
what
hell. But
what's
the full
going on,
predators
and
believe. But the full predators believe hell was taken out in the
this is
lake of
going to go
fire.
on for infinity.
Yeah. So yeah, fascinating. Even though funny thing is in Leviticus in the camps, the presence of God got rid of all sin until it was going to come back because of the free will. But Jude says that the presence of God is going to permeate through everything. So,
The
I don't think
blessings of Israel were would manifest themselves in tangible material. I mean,
ways.
the
Yeah.
ground would be better, the dirt
The
would be
ground
better,
wouldn't be cursed
the sun
anymore.
and the rain and everything would just be you've got so many crops you can feed the world. You don't even know how much crops you've got. Too many
But yeah,
crops. And
The
so
Torah
if
even
that's the
says it.
case, what
Yeah.
would the and God is a God of blessings. What would the ultimate manifestation of blessings, blessed, this beatitude, blessedness, state of blessedness?
No more death, no more war, no more sin. Wow, that
That's
would
what
be
he's
something
telling
amazing.
Israel. If you do right, the problem is we don't know how to do right.
Well,
And they never seem to understand that, or maybe the
well,
blessings there and the
you know,
grass that's growing are people like Tim Martin and Jeff
I
Vaughn.
mean, at the end of the day,
It's crazy.
I've been saying this to you for a long time now, like because I've been reading the, and it's because of Derek. I blame Derek for this. Derek like showed me,
Oh,
he got me a bunch of, books for free that I could read, right? So I'm like, thanks, Derek. You're awesome. You just saved me like
yeah.
$300. That's cool. Well, I'm reading pagan theologies, right? I'm reading
Oh,
all
yeah.
sorts of it. I'm
Yeah.
reading like ancient Near East,
Sure, sure.
they're actually really good books. And
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'm over here like, wait a second. So the full preterist is saying all this stuff. And I'm over here reading these pagan theologies, and like I'm over here just thinking, wow, it's really similar. Like it's really similar to what the full preterist is saying. Like sin and death just continue forever in this endless cycle, and
Cyclical. Yeah.
I mean, I'll use this as my final example here. Like with the resurrection of the dead, like we believe that it solves the theodicy. The full preterist doesn't. Well, in when Paul quotes in 1 Corinthians 15, he quotes Isaiah 25,
25, yeah.
and he also quotes Hosea
Yep.
13. Well, if you actually go read those and in the proper context, Hosea and Isaiah both mention Moat.
Yep.
They mention the god Moat. And I always bring this up with full preterists, and they don't give a rat's behind that I bring this up. But Moat takes both the body and the soul.
Yeah.
And if you go read Jude and he quotes the ascension of Moses, Moses, when he's being taken by God, because there's a feud between God and Satan, or Michael and Satan, and Michael is the archangel that claims all of the Israelites, and Satan claims all the bad people, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well, Satan is trying to claim his body and his soul. Well, what do you think Michael does? He claims the body and the soul. Well,
Yeah.
heck, I wonder why Jude is quoting that. Does Jude believe that the resurrection of the dead requires both body and soul? I think he does. Wow,
It
it's
goes.
amazing. And I mean, here's this old Canaanite deity that is more powerful than Yahweh apparently because he claims both
Or
body and
maybe
soul.
Satan and Michael reached a deal. Michael, you can have
Yeah,
the soul, give me the body.
yeah, just do that, right?
There's
But
no victory in that.
but if you read it, that's not what it says. It
Yeah.
says he takes the body and the
God's going
soul.
to take all of it because
And
it's all
like
his.
and First Enoch does this too. It
Yeah. Oh,
talks
yeah.
about it.
No doubt.
And I'm over here like, wow, youthful predators completely have no context of what you're
The
saying.
idea of an infinite evil creation of God
It's completely foreign to the New
would
Testament
not have
and the Old
computed
Testament.
in Jesus's world and day. If Jesus
Yeah,
was going around saying that, I personally would have nailed him on the cross for being the
they would have
idiot that he
too.
is.
They would have too, because
Because he's an
it's
idiot.
well, and he's literally. It would mean that he is literally. They
Admitting defeat.
full preterists
He's admitting defeat.
full preterists have what they have done is they have paganized the New Testament. And I know that and people watching this, I know this. Most of you, you're ignorant about it. I get that.
Right.
But this is the time to correct yourself. This is the time to go, maybe Sam Frost and Lance Conley are not a bunch of dummies. Maybe we should just for a second think about if maybe what he's saying right now is correct.
Yeah.
Maybe I should go look into it and then check it, like check me, correct me if I'm wrong. Tell me how, like show me how. But like, I know I'm not wrong on this, but like
It's not victory.
that's my challenge to a full preterist listening today. Like, go look at this and then tell me why what I'm saying is false. That this is not just paganism being incorporated into the New Testament.
Yeah.
Like, and actually go study it. Don't just be like, oh, well, I studied it, and like, no, you didn't. You didn't. Like you went to ChatGPT and said a bunch of horse manure. Okay, like no, I want you to actually like go look and read these books, read this stuff, and just look at it because like
Yeah.
what I just said, like most of what I said was Second Temple Judaism and what the pagans believed. Like that context for me is why I'm not a full preterist.
No, there, in any context.
Yeah. And
Because
you know,
it's ultimately it's Gnosticism.
It is.
No, no, when I say that, I don't mean it's second century AD
Right.
Gnosticism
It's
with
like
all of the
neo-Gnostic.
things, the very complicated kind of thing going on there with them. What I mean by that is it's anti-material,
Yes.
it's anti-tangibility, in my
And God said
interview with Rick
God said
Welch,
the
you could
material
see him just
creation is evil.
struggling uh, that full preterism. I can't relate to the tangibility of it because I'd have to explain what no more covenantal tears means,
Right.
even though he believes that,
Yeah.
but he can't translate it yet. But his problem is, and Mike Sullivan's is, rather than working on trying to translate what no covenantal tears means to people who actually have tears,
Yeah.
why don't you stop and think for a second and realize that the tears that the Bible's talking about is the same tears that are brought about by people's grief and pain and suffering, and it's the same unequivocal meaning.
Well, then you'd have to admit you're wrong about something
But that,
because
and there you go.
yeah.
That's
Oh
that's the
no.
reason why I didn't leave full preterism, because some of you standing here will not taste death until you see the same
Right.
thing. See, my framework guides my entire, even nonsense like covenantal tears. God wiped away the Old Testament burden and weight of the tears that the old covenant was spiritually, and God took those tears away. And I'm like, that's sheer nonsense. That's just idiocy.
Especially like, oh, your family member died and oh, I'm pretty sad right
Well, at
now.
least they weren't
I
under the
don't
old
know.
covenant.
Yeah. Which was apparently Satan,
Yeah.
which was apparently Satan too, which is really weird because God gave the
Oh
Torah
man.
to them. So God gave Satan to the Israelites. That's amazing.
It,
And then he was supposed to share Satan to the to the nations. That's
yeah.
really I wish Don would debate me. I know he won't, but man, you just imagine if I just asked him, was Satan shared to all the nations? And then he's
Yeah.
like, what are you talking
Old
about? I'm like,
covenant
well, the old
Judaism.
covenant is Satan, right?
So since they
Like,
were dispersed, because Luke says, and they will be um, captured and sent to the nations.
I mean,
That's post 70 AD, right?
Satan
So
was
Satan was sent to all the nations.
it's crazy. It's crazy. You gotta make up so much. I wish somebody needs to bring that up. Like you should bring that up next
Yeah,
time and see what they say.
that's
Because I
it's
bet they will lose their absolute minds if they. Because yeah, that's the logical conclusion. If the old covenant is Satan, why? Like okay, like do they even think? I don't even think they think about what they're saying half the time when they say it. Like they don't
no,
go and
because you get so you've been there, you were
yeah,
full part.
yeah,
You get so it's like
hung up
talking
on
to
them.
an Israelite only guy.
Yeah,
You can't. Charles Manson is the man's son, son of man,
yeah,
man's son. You can't get out of the,
right.
and that's I can talk to a Catholic, and talk to I can talk to a Pentecostal brother that gives the shirt off his back and bears fruit. I I can wander around a lot of circles, but with full preterist, it's
It's a
you're
different
I'm
ball
not
game.
we're not having like your interview or whatever the debate that you had with this guy. You guys are not even on the same plate.
Obviously not.
I mean,
I brought it up too. Like he wanted to be called brother, and I was like, all
yeah,
right,
I
like a
can't.
Jew. If I was a Jew and another Jew came up to me and was like, "Hey, let's go worship Baal together. Let's go worship our children to
Yeah,
Molech,"
yeah,
or even if they were like, "Yeah, let's go sacrifice our children to Yahweh," and they made a deity of a bull, and were like, "Let's sacrifice our children to Yahweh."
yeah. Why not?
I'd be like, wait a second. I don't think the Torah said that's okay.
Yeah,
I don't think I can call you a brother. I think I'm gonna actually take your kid and maybe if God says you're a part of the giant clans, I'll execute you too. But or actually we'll just stone you because Torah would be okay with that.
yeah. I,
the elders would be like, "Hey, that's wrong. We're gonna stone this guy. Who's gonna take the child?" Like,
well, we'll end here, and I'm sure you can talk about hundreds of people over the years since you've left, and I could
oh,
definitely talk
like
about hundreds of people, churches, elders,
we've got so many
that are
people that
so
have left.
thankful that they
Oh yes.
saw this coming and they got it out of there and they
Well,
didn't
I
want
you
anything to
know,
do with it.
I'll say this after I had the conversation with the IBV guy, I have had
Yeah,
I gained about 21 subscribers because they were like, "Hey, we want to listen to your stuff on Torah now."
yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, really? Okay.
Good.
Yeah, go ahead and watch it," right? Like
If I can steer you away from
from heresy.
nonsense,
Yeah,
um, you know, there's more choices in the world than full preterism and
right.
dispensationalism.
And like that's what I do
There's
with my
there's
podcast. Like
there's,
I
there's
I'm I'm doing like a
a
Bible
lot more.
podcast. And like every now and then if it's a full preterist point that I know is going to come up, like I'm going to bring it up in the in this Bible podcast that
Yeah,
I'm doing. So like, where it says like, "Hey, don't actually do polygamy." Like I'll tolerate it, but don't do it.
yeah,
Like I know this is like how you people work, but don't do it if I say to don't not do it, right? Stuff like that.
yeah.
So, anyways,
I'm drifting more. I, I'm wanting to. I'm always going to deal. Eschatology is my
I,
bag,
I've been
so
I've
I'm
been in
always
that
going to deal with
same
eschatology.
I've
But
been in that same deal.
I
That's
don't
why
want to
like
keep bringing up
yeah, I've been in that
full
same
preterist
same
because it's
mindset
going
because I
nowhere. The view's going nowhere. It's not preterism. Those are
yeah,
two different things. Um, but I think the view is fragmenting.
I think it's breaking apart
It's
like at
just,
the seams
it's
because
just,
like
it's slowly.
yeah, and I don't think there's going to be something that replaces it very well. Like because I don't think they can. I mean, I like
I
no
watched
offense,
Zach Davis last night. He was giving a sermon or something like
and
that.
it's the same mess. Like
And towards the end of it, I was watching, and he just, the last 10 minutes of this was the most nonsensical. I'd like, uh, if I was going, if I'm a thinking person and going to that person's church and listening to that last 10 minutes, I'm looking for another church of somebody that knows what they're talking about.
well, you and I both know that
I mean, this is crazy.
I mean, you and I both know that his ministry is probably not going to last very long for certain reasons. So, and I'm not going to say those reasons because that would maybe get us in trouble right now. But we're going to keep that silent and hush hush.
Well,
But
because you have to deal with um, these massive issues we have today,
yeah, you can't.
huge issues. And you can't say, well, the reason why we have these issues today is because of futurism.
Yeah,
That's just stupid
yeah, no
because the
kidding.
people that are actually creating these situations, they're not thinking about they're not, that's not
No,
entering into their thing, even if they have the idea that, Israel is important to go. Well, I can sympathize with that because when you open up the Bible, by the time you get to Exodus, there's Israel. I,
yep.
that's there. So I that to me, uh, Bruce Gregg and Jacob Neuster, several other Hans Kuhn is another one that I like. This interdialogue as a Christian, and I think Paul's saying this in Romans 11. They might be at odds with what you're, but as a follower of Yeshua HaMashiach, the
Yahushua.
son of David,
Yeah,
the Lion of the tribe of Judah, you're linked to them
yep.
inseparably. You can't break. In other words, if you could break out the link, throw out your Hebrew Bible. Just throw it out. Get rid of it,
Right.
like Markian. Just
Hmm.
just get rid of it. Well, I can't get rid of it. Why? Well, then you're stuck.
Yeah.
And you've got to deal with this Israel question. And you have to deal with this fact that regardless of what reasons, and there's so many factors going on historically as to why Israel is but the fact is they are
Right.
UN charted. They are there. And as a Christian, I can't just say, ah, that means nothing. No, it means something. I
Yes,
have to deal with this. Why? Because you're a Christian. You're
exactly.
following because you're one of
Exactly.
them.
Yeah.
But Rome made no distinctions between Jews and Christians. Therefore, they you're all in the same camp as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And the Muslim understands that you're all in the same camp. And I guess, well, shoot, I guess we are.
Yeah.
But I'm not a Zionist.
Yeah.
Okay. But you think Israel, you believe in what God did say to Abraham in Genesis 12, right? Yes. Yes. Oh, gosh. I have to answer, how's God going to fulfill that promise that he made to Abraham? And it
Yeah.
had to do with land.
Hmm.
And I can't allegorize or spiritualize or cut that off and pretend it's not there. It's there. I think
Right.
the answer
Right.
is new heavens, new earth, and resurrection. That's my response ultimately to that.
Yeah.
But I certainly can sympathize with these people wanting land according to Genesis 12 because that's what it says.
Right. Yeah.
Now, what I do with it today, it's in fulfillment and all that. But those are the issues. So I certainly understand them. Um, they're not going away.
No, it's not going away anytime soon.
No, no, it's too entrenched. It's embedded. It's
Yep.
like removing your own lung or something. And I don't think that Christians understand how much of Israel, Torah, uh, Judaism, that's our lung. I, I wouldn't be here without Abraham and Moses and Isaiah and Daniel. Um, we wouldn't be here. So those are well, it's all future, but it's all fulfilled and done away with in 78.
Right. Yeah.
That's not the answer I'm looking for because it
Yeah.
doesn't solve anything.
Well, and nobody's gonna take that like it's a dying message because
It
you
doesn't
gotta
solve anything.
you gotta go like, well, does that mean I'm the elect? And people go, no, you're not part of the elect. It's like, okay, so I guess I'm not saved.
Right. Do you think those that identify as being Jew or Jewish? Oh yeah, God destroyed our temple. Oh yeah, I'm not Jew anymore. You know what? I renounce my Judaism.
Yeah,
You know
it's
what? I'm
kind
not
of
a Jew anymore.
it's just yeah, the idea
Not
and
gonna
like
happen.
I mean like it's like Don, he would always say like full preterism is the answer to atheism. Well, right now you're 0 for 5 against the atheist that you've debated. So I think
Yeah.
my I think what I said
How's
to
that
you
working out for you?
I told him a long time ago, like, I would love you to debate atheists because I think you'll lose. Well, if that was a prophecy, I was correct because he's 0 for 5.
Yeah.
He's lost to Mark Smith. He's lost to Tristan.
Tristan.
He's lost to like some other guys that he's debated. Like they're just like, what are you doing? This is a stupid debate. Like you don't have anything. Like okay, Jerusalem fell in 70 AD. Wow.
And Don's
And
not
then
going to be around in 25 years.
no, he's gonna
So
probably choke himself to death.
it's anyway, keep talking, but thank you, Lance,
No
and
problem.
your
Oh,
book.
by the way, Stephanos or Rick, he wants to debate you at some point on Sola Scriptura. I'm supposed to tell you that.
Is that the guy that that I'm?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
he's a good guy. He
No, I've got his number.
if y'all need me to, I will literally mod for you.
Yeah, but see,
Or
you're Orthodox too. You gang. I
yeah,
don't.
we're gonna gang up on you. No,
I'm
I'm
pretty
just kidding.
confident.
I'll be a good mod. I'll be like,
Yeah,
all right, that's a bad thing you just said, Frost and Stephanos. That's
yeah, we
also
could.
bad.
I don't like the debate, but a dialogue. I would like to. I like.
I think that's what he's kind of
Yeah, I
wanting,
don't.
anyways.
I don't think I'm a good debater. I think I lose my temper and I get.
I thought I was bad, but that debate I just did, I
No, you were good there.
I scared somebody. He was
I think.
getting kind of woo,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. He was moving in his. He was.
He
He
was
was moving.
I
You
was
don't
like
understand.
I was surprised how like calm and collected I was. I was like, wow, I thought I did really not that great, but I apparently he was interrupting, he was doing this, like going nuts just to be like
Yeah.
mellow
No, yeah.
schmellow. mellow schmellow, bragabello. And I'm like, what? Are you okay? Are you having a stroke? What? Are you
Did
like
he say yellow schmellow?
he's doing all
That's
sorts of weird.
Yiddish. Yeah.
He was trying all sorts of stuff in that
Yellow
debate.
schmellow.
I think he was trying to distract me, and sometimes it worked, but most of the time it didn't.
Gosh.
But yeah, if anybody wants to, my podcast
Yeah,
is Lance Conley. I'll link to Sam Frost in a
I'm a
certain way.
subscriber. Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah. Link my thing
I'm
up there.
gonna link that, and yeah, so yeah, thanks for having me on, Sam.
All right, we'll do it again. So you have a blessed night. You're an hour
Yeah,
behind me. Yeah,
yep.
9:25 here. Anyway, all right, brother. Love you.